Middle school was a memorably tough time for me. It was a time where I didn't know how to fit in. My parents separated, and my mom had to support 3 kids by herself. When I was going into 6th grade, I began to realize I wasn't very girly. I was getting my clothes ready for school. My mom came in and said, "Are you deciding what to wear tomorrow?" "Yes," I said. "I'm not sure what to wear." She says, "How about one of your skirts? I don't think you want people calling you a tomboy anymore, do you? You need to start dressing better." It never mattered what I wore, but it was middle school now, the most difficult and awkward time of my life. I was so self-conscious, yet I had completely no self-awareness. It felt like everyone was looking at me and judging me. I didn't know how to be a girly girl. I was trying to be friends with the girls and fit in. It was tough. They shopped at the mall for their clothes. I got my clothes at a department store. They wore brand names like Z Cavaricci pants that were $85 and IOU shirts that were $45. I was embarrassed of my clothes and the way I looked. I've always been athletic. To me, that means I'm good at sports. The interesting thing is, I'm good at almost any sport. It doesn't matter what it is, I typically excel. The downfall, I wasn't born to be athletic. No one else in my family is active or has played any sports. I think my environment had a lot to do with it. I lived in a neighborhood full of boys, and we always played football, wiffle ball, kickball, basketball. I was always told, "You're really good for a girl." Because I played sports and loved them, it never occurred to me I was overweight. I liked who I was, but I did not like that I wasn't more like the other girls. I wore baggy clothes because they were comfortable. As I started to play sports in 7th grade, I made more friends. People actually liked me because I was good at sports. It was great. During the 7th grade, my mom and dad separated. My mom was embarrassed by it, so we weren't allowed to tell people. I think we were all embarrassed by it, really. It was still fairly unusual back in the late 80s for families to have divorced parents. I definitely didn't know of many families who were. It was difficult having issues at home and not being able to discuss it with anybody. My mom finally had to tell several of my teachers what was happening at home because my dad would forget he was supposed to pick me up from practices or from other after-school activities. The coach or teacher would have to sit with me until someone came and got me. I remember they were all very nice and supportive. I believe it is because of many of the memories like these that influenced me to become a teacher. As I got into high school athletics, I became very competitive and determined. I wanted to be the best at what I did, and I had a feeling that my hard work and dedication would pay off. However, I felt that my weight was still holding me back, so I decided to do something about it. By the time my sophomore year had started, I'd lost 25 pounds and it felt great. People noticed me and complimented me. I still wasn't as skinny as some of the other girls, but I knew I was getting there. My basketball coach noticed too, and I was beginning to get more playing time on varsity. This was all I cared about. However, as I went clothes shopping with my mom, she walked into the dressing room while I was changing and was shocked. She'd not realized how thin I had gotten. She said she was so used to seeing me in baggy clothes she didn't realize how thin I was. I told her I'm not as thin as some of my friends, but she worried that I had a problem. She took me to a dietitian to get me help. The dietitian told me I had exercise-induced anorexia nervosa. I was obsessed with what I was or wasn't eating, and I was exercising too much. The dietitian also recommended me to a counselor. She said that many times conditions like this come from a place of control. A person feels like part of their life is out of control, and so this is one of the things they feel they can control. I did feel out of control. I didn't think my basketball coach liked me. My mom knew my motivator was basketball, so if I didn't do something, the threat at home would be I'd have to miss basketball. My dad was also around even less now. Even if I begged him to come to things, he had something else to do, or he showed up when he wanted to. Because of my constant struggle with weight over the years, I decided to become a physical education and health education teacher. I believe I struggled due to a combination of my mother's genetics and the environment. As I had an opportunity to run a weight loss camp for 7 years, I learned many things in regards to teaching people about health and fitness. I learned about getting educated on how important it is to make good decisions regarding eating, fitness, and wellness. It's up to the person to decide that they want to make the change in their life, both mentally and physically. Everyone can learn about eating right, proper portions, reading nutrition labels, and being well balanced. Education is the key. So why am I here? How did I get here? It hasn't been easy. I'm the only 4-year college graduate in my family, and I had to pay my own way through all 7 years of undergrad school. But I persevered because I knew I wanted to be a teacher. I knew that I wanted to be in charge and in front of people and lead them. I knew I wanted to be someone important. Throughout my middle school experiences and my high school experiences, teachers and coaches have always been a big part of building who I am. Whether it was their encouragement and support or their challenging and doubting me, I think kids should be allowed to be who they are without fear of being different. My experience as a middle school kid specifically has led me to appreciate working with kids that age range. These students are still fun and goofy, but are just starting to realize their emotions and feelings. I believe as a principal, you have to create an environment conducive to acceptance, health, wellness, and learning. I want to be able to motivate people to be the best that they can be and reach their full potential. I want them to realize that regardless of their adversities, they too can overcome and raise up.
No law is gonna change us. We have to change us. Whatever God you believe in, we come from the same one. Strip away the fear, underneath it's all the same love. About time that we raised up.
I can't